Spend 5% of your time planning, strategizing, thinking, and 95% of your time doing, executing, tactics. I call it the 5-95 rule. 5% of your time thinking, planning, strategizing, and 95% of your time actually doing. This is where a lot of entrepreneurs get held up because we're dreamers. We want to change the world. We've got this big mission, this big vision. We've got all these amazing giant plans, and it's so much fun to sit and think and plan and watch videos and draft up what our perfect company, our perfect life, the perfect world's gonna look like. It's a ton of fun. Anytime you get entrepreneurs together and you start dreaming about the future, tell me about where you wanna go, what you wanna build. Those are really fun, easy exercises for us. We love staying there. The problem is none of that stuff actually happens until you do something. Right? The perfect world you want to make, the perfect life you want to build, none of that happens until you actually start doing it. Think about working out as an example, right? You could research all the exercises, you could think about the beautiful life you're gonna have when you have your six-pack abs, but nothing counts until you actually start working out, until you start running and doing your push-ups and doing your sit-ups and your squats and all of that stuff. 5% of your time should be picking the plan, strategizing the plan, and 95% of the time actually doing. You don't want to be in the same spot a year from today, a month from today, heck, even a week from today. We don't want to stay stuck. You don't want to be in the same spot. You don't want to be having the same thoughts to say, I wish I could be further ahead. I should be doing something else. Like to have the frustration with yourself, your life, your lack of momentum. If you don't want to be stuck in the same spot 1 week, 1 month, 1 year from today, the difference is not going to be different strategies that you come up with. You're super smart. You're a smart person, and you're doing this for the right reasons. You've got heart. You want to serve. You want to make a difference. You want to feel like what you do matters. The only tweak you have to make is switching the time you're spending thinking and pondering and in fear and strategizing and moving it to just doing, to just executing, to doing one more. So that's the challenge for today. Look at your calendar for the rest of the today, for the rest of next week. 595. 5% of your time planning, thinking, strategizing, and 95% of your time doing. That will make the difference.
Need motivation?
Watch Top 10 with Believe Nation.
Top 10, I got a top 10. Got my motivation high for my top 10. Gotta learn from the wise women and men. All my life, like na 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 na. For my top 10, top 10, na 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 na. This one's for my top 10.
Hey, it's Nina Carmichael. We make these videos probably because you're the most ambitious person in your circle. You know you're capable of more and you need that push by surrounding yourself with the best. So today, let's learn from one of the best, my husband Evan Carmichael, and here's our take on his top 10 rules on success. Enjoy! Rule number 2, believe.
The biggest problem is a lack of belief. My biggest problem, your biggest problem, the world's biggest problem is that we don't believe in ourselves enough. You could do great things. You could be the Michael Jordan of something. You are literally the greatest in the world at something. But if you don't actually believe that you are, then you won't be. And people with far less talent, far less resources, and far less heart than you will win because they just took action. So my biggest limitation is still a lack of belief. It's still the thing that holds me back. I believe in my ability to do what I've already done, but not to do the next thing. It's a constant battle and a constant reminder because you want to grow. I want to grow. I want to keep learning. I want to keep getting better. And so to get to that next breakthrough, I'm going to have to believe in myself to say I can do it. Just yesterday, I was on an Instagram Live with Kevin O'Leary. Mr. Wonderful, Shark Tank, was a super fun interview. And the hour before it, I was just totally useless. I gave myself an hour before to prepare, to research, to think about what questions I wanted to ask, to think how I'm going to introduce him when he comes on. I don't have a connection to Kevin O'Leary before yesterday. I had the good fortune to meet tons of people and connect with them, but Kevin, I haven't done anything with over the how many years I've had my YouTube channel. It's crazy, so I'm nervous. And in the back of my head is, he's a professional. It's going to be great. He's not somebody who's like yells at his, interviewers. It's going to be fine. But in my heart, I'm still nervous. I'm still worried. I'm still anxious that I'm going to say the wrong thing, ask the wrong question, not give a great interview, and it's over in 7 minutes. It's my panic attack taking over. And so that hour before the interview, I was completely useless. I kind of went over at least 10 times how I was going to introduce him and some of my key questions that I was going to ask him. And then I just basically wasted time. I wasn't in the right mindset to be able to go and do anything else. I couldn't even do Instagram DMs or emails because I was too distracted thinking about this thing that was coming up. But what's the alternative? Whenever you face those doubts, whenever you face those fears, the alternative is say no. The alternative is, I can't do it. I'm busy. Find some excuse, right? Evan of 10 years ago probably would have backed out of it, would have found some reason why I couldn't have done it. I'm busy, find some reason. I want to teach myself that I do scary things, that I do difficult things, that I lean into the thing. If I don't believe in myself enough, then I have to go do the thing to show myself that I believe in myself. You can say all day long, I believe in myself, I believe in myself, I believe in, but if you don't do the thing, you won't believe in yourself. And so you do it scared. You do it when it's hard. You do it when it's difficult. Even if I go on the live and just say the wrong thing to Kevin and insult him, or he leaves, or something happens, the fact that I showed up with a positive intention, with the goal to try to make this a great interview, is enough for me to pat myself on the back and say I did it. Now, the interview ended up going great. At least I thought it went well. We had a good conversation. We talked about his new business. I made a new connection. He now follows me on Instagram. It was a fun time. And logically, you might be watching and thinking, well, of course it's going to work out. You've done all these interviews. And logically to myself, it's the same thing. Of course it's going to work out. I've done all these interviews and with harder people to talk to than Kevin O'Leary. But in the moment when it's your fear talking, the logic isn't enough to get you through it. At least for me, it's the boom, boom, boom test that my heart's beating. Boom, 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 boom. I'm nervous. I'm scared. I have to do it. That's how you start building confidence, belief, self-respect, by doing difficult things. Now, I've got a 3-step process I'm going to walk you through to help you get more self-belief. Number 1 is be surrounded by it. Be surrounded by the things that make you believe in yourself more. This is so critical because chances are the people around you aren't encouraging you to be more, aren't pushing you, saying you're capable of so much more. A lot of people have either haters around them, people telling them that you're never going to make it, be safe, be practical, go get this safe job over here, you can't go do that. Or people who might have empathy, might have some kind of understanding, but they don't know how to push you to do greater things. And so you have to be surrounded by the people who make you feel like more is possible. This is so critical. It's so important. It's why I make this YouTube channel. I want you to start your day with confidence and belief. So if this channel does it for you, great. Hey, every day I'm making videos. If not on this channel, I've got lots of other channels also making content. But if it's not me, then it's somebody else. If it's Dean's channel or Dean's books or Dean's podcast that makes you feel bold, confident, alive, powerful, then be surrounded by it as much as possible. Have it as a part of your regular schedule. Have it in your environment. Look at my environment here. Look at the people on the wall behind me. I walk into here and these people make me believe in myself more. From Steve Jobs to AP Giannini to my parents, Howard Schultz, Kanye West, these people make me believe in myself more. From the cell phone background that I have, can I load it up? It says remember your intention. Remember your intention. Ah, you can see it. Hey, you can see it. It works. Remember your intention. It's a reminder for myself. My desktop background, the clothes that I wear, right? I feel like I'm Batman going to work. I feel like I'm a superhero going to work to try to change the world for the better every time I put this on. Now, that might seem crazy to you. That might seem stupid, childish, ridiculous. Awesome. Go do you. But think about it, from your office environment to the screens on your phone and computer to what you wear, it impacts your psychology. It impacts your self-confidence. So you want to be around it as much as possible. Physical environment plus online environment, from the music you listen to, the podcast, the videos you're watching, to every day inject that belief into yourself. Step number 2 is fix your morning routine. Most people well, most people don't have a morning routine. So most of America doesn't have a morning routine. But if you're watching this video, you probably have some kind of morning routine. Most people wake up like an accident. You probably wake up and have a morning routine. And so your friends and family, people who look at you, they might even be in awe of your morning routine and say, how do you accomplish so much and how you stick to that morning routine? You're the one that people are going to for advice on morning routines. But your morning routine is likely still broken. Do you know what the most important part of a morning routine is? It's not brushing your teeth. It's not, meditation. It's not even watching one of these espresso videos, as much as that breaks my heart. The thing that's most important in a morning routine is, do you get the feeling of belief, of unstoppable confidence, of boldness when you finish it? Too many people are just checking the boxes. Too many people are saying, well, okay, I'm going to wake up. I'm going to brush my teeth. I'm going to read a book. I'm going to work out. I'm going to great. Check. Perfect. You checked all the boxes. You did it. But you don't feel bold. You don't have confidence. You don't feel the belief. Why? Well, one of two reasons. One, either your morning routine is broken and you actually have to inject something in. You have to actually watch that video or make that call or do that meditation or say that prayer or whatever the thing is. You have to add something into your morning routine to get the confidence. Or two, your morning routine actually is okay. You're just not doing it with intention. So remember my cell phone screen here, right? Remember your intention. Remember there we go. Remember your intention. This is a constant reminder for myself to remember my intention. Your morning routine, you might have all the right pieces to it. And maybe watching a video is the thing that gets you feeling fired up and ready to go and have that belief. But if you're watching a video while you're doing something else, if you're watching a video while you're brushing your teeth or while you're planning out your day or while you're making your lunch or something else, and you've only got half your brain on it and you're not actually too focused on it, then great, check. You watched the video, you could check it off your morning list, but you don't feel the feeling. And if you don't feel the feeling, if you don't feel bold, powerful, unstoppable, confident coming out of your morning routine, then you need to immediately fix your morning routine for tomorrow. It's one of the single greatest things that you can do, because if you woke up and did the thing that made you feel belief, confidence, boldness every day, if that's how you started your day, you actually felt that every day, your life is going to look dramatically different 1 year from today. I guarantee. Fix your morning routine. And step number 3 is pass the boom, boom, boom test. And the boom, boom, boom test is when your heart's beating. Boom, 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 boom. That's a sign to go. That's a sign to do. That's a sign of your beliefs in yourself being questioned. When I had Kevin O'Leary coming up on my show, boom, 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 right? Even having Dean on my show. I had Dean not too long ago on my show, and now I know Dean better. We've hung out in Puerto Rico. He's been on a couple times already. We spent some time together, so he's a closer friend than Kevin O'Leary, who I didn't know before. Now, the last time I had Dean on, it was to promote his book, but I couldn't bring him in for more than a couple seconds. Instagram, I'd bring him in and it would crash. And so I tried to bring him in and then it would crash again. And I tried like 4 or 5 times to try to bring him in, and he's sitting there live and it just keeps crashing. And I felt so terrible. It's like all my worst nightmares come true, right? Like it didn't work out. Oh my gosh, I feel so bad. I'm letting him down. I'm letting my audience down live. It just felt terrible. And so in the back of my head is, oh my gosh, remember the last time I tried to have Dean on? The fiasco that happened. And so boom, 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 boom. I don't want it to happen again this time. But not letting the boom, 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 this is just your fear talking, right? This is just a lack of belief talking. It's a lack of belief that it's going to go well this time. You can't let that hold you back from actually doing the thing. And quite often what happens is you feel the boom, 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 right? It's going like this, but then your brain will find some reason why you can't do it. Your brain will talk you down from doing the thing. It'll find a really logical, smart reason, because you won't believe a stupid reason, a really smart reason why you can't do the thing. And so you don't, but really you're just afraid. And so this helps you catch it. When you feel the boom, 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 it's going like this, your heart's beating, I'm scared, I'm doing that thing. I'm doing that thing, and I'm gonna reward myself for the effort, whether it ends up working out or not, because I do scary things, and so do you.
Rule number 3, make a shift to your calendar.
The fact that you look at your calendar today, tomorrow, next week, and nothing excites you, okay, great. What can you shift? And it may require a wholesale change. It may require you doing some drastic thing, but more likely, you could probably just do one small shift. Like just start building momentum. Just start doing one little thing every day. to start to train yourself, to start to just push the ball a little bit forward. Because often we think we have to make some giant change, and the only answer is to move to Mexico. And then it never happens, because to move to Mexico takes you however many, months and budget and all this stuff. You get stuck in planning mode instead of doing. What's a small step? What's a small tweak that you can make to today's calendar to inject more energy into it? What's something that you're going to love doing that will give you more energy, that then now you have energy for other things as well, right? Some kind of immediate momentum.
Rule number 4, fear regret.
The fear of regret is one of the most powerful tools at your disposal to help you get into action mode. Let me explain. Whatever you want to do, whatever your goals are, your mission, your dreams, whatever you want to do, if it's big enough, it's going to have some fear attached to it, right? You don't want to just do the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. So therefore, your dreams, your ambitions, your drive require you to do things that are scary, that are new, that are different, that are pushing you outside your comfort zone. And our natural reaction is we don't want to do those things, right? In theory, we do. When we feel bold and confident, we do. When you watch a video like this, you get inspired and motivated, like, yes, I'm going to go do it. And then when it comes time to actually doing it, you find a reason why you can't do it, right? Too tired, I'll do it tomorrow. There's always some logical reason why you can't do it. Meanwhile, it's just fear. Understand that underneath your excuses, your reasons are just fear. It's just fear. You're afraid of doing a thing. You're afraid of being judged. You're afraid of who will see it. You're afraid of who won't see it. You're afraid of nobody seeing it. You're just afraid. You're afraid. And getting to your dreams require you to step through that fear. And the future regret, the fear of future regret is so powerful because it can knock you out of the immediate fear of doing the thing. So let me break it down. If you had to make a video, you're gonna make a video. I'm making a video right now, right? If I was afraid of making this video, I'm afraid of making this video. I'm afraid of I'm gonna have the wrong words. I'm afraid that Nina is gonna judge me for the words that I'm saying. I'm afraid that my dogs are not going to be happy with me, whatever. You're afraid of what that guy thinks for me with my phone, right? You're afraid. All these things come through our head of what we're afraid of. And by the way, Nina's very supportive, as always. We love you, Nina. Anyway, you're afraid. So if you're afraid of making a video, great. The present fear is very real. It feels big, right? Let's put it on a fear score. The fear of actually making that video is a 50, okay? It's a score of 50. That's how much afraid we are to do it. It's a 50. The fear of the regret of not doing it, in the moment it's not very big. Maybe it's a 1, right? It's just a 1, it's a 1. The idea that, okay, I might regret this one day, whatever, it's a 1. But the problem is, 50 is just for today. That little fear well, it's a big fear, but in the moment of doing the one thing, say it's a 50, it's just today. The regret compounds. So it's 1 today, and it's 1 tomorrow, and it's 1 the next day, it's 1 the next day, it's 1 the next day. It actually ends up being 1,000,000, right? It ends up being huge. The fear of inaction becomes huge, but we don't feel it on a day-to-day basis because it's too small compared to the present fear of doing the thing. So what you have to do, and this is the hack to get out of procrastination. Bless you, Nina. This is the hack to get into action mode. This is the hack to actually start chasing your dreams down. Believe Nation, come on, let's go. Is to make the fear so big of regret that you're gonna miss out, that this video that you're about to make today is going to be the video that is life-altering, life-changing, life-redefining for you. This one thing that you're about to do is going to be the greatest moment of your life. So you make that pain so big that now it becomes 1,000,000 versus the 50, right? So then it's not as scary to go do the thing because there's a bigger fear. You're basically inflicting a future pain so big on you that the present pain doesn't feel as big. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to build a habit. So I've created a special free program to help you where every day for 254 days, I will send you an email that has a link to an unlisted video that if you watch it will boost your confidence forward. The link to join for free is in the description below. If you're doing work that you love, you're more likely to follow through. You're more likely to do it because it doesn't feel like work, because you love doing it. Don't worry what the first step is. People write in and say, what's my first? It doesn't matter. Something. Do something, and then do something again tomorrow, and do something again the next day, and every day you get a little bit better. They're great because they can help you, one, navigate the waters of dealing with publishers and creating a proposal that's really going to win, because you might only get one shot with a publisher, especially as a new author. And if your proposal sucks, they likely won't want to look at it again unless you've done something dramatic on your audience size to really build up notoriety around yourself.
Rule number 5, love the process.
You can get great at almost any skill. Almost any skill you could get great at if you wanted to. If you dedicated yourself to practicing, if you dedicated yourself to modeling success, if you dedicated yourself to doing it, you could get great at almost any skill. Now, you know, where people go with this is the extreme. Like, well, I can't become, you know, a 7-footer in the NBA. Like, okay, great. If you're 5'2", you know, you might not be able to be a 7-footer in the NBA, right? but just think about it. Think about your goals. Think about your dreams. Think about where you want to go. What you want to do is possible. Stop looking at all the rare exceptions of how you can't do it, and instead focus on how you can. Where we struggle is because the things that we need to get great at, we probably aren't very good at. This is a really big deal for entrepreneurs, because you're probably good at some things. You're probably naturally good at some things, or you had some training, or your parents put you into classes and you developed a skill set at something, but you may not like that thing. Like, this is the trick. We're good at things that we don't like doing. You're probably really good at a lot of things that you don't want to actually now commit the rest of your life to doing. And so this creates the dilemma. This creates an entrepreneur's dilemma. We should name it something. Maybe it's the entrepreneur's dilemma, where you have two choices. You either focus on what you're good at, that can get you paid, that can get you a job, that can maybe even have you start your business. You're good at it, you can get paid doing it, but it is not something you enjoy. And the more you do it, you slowly start to lose your soul. It slowly starts to be life-sucking for you. Like, imagine this thing that you're good at that you don't like doing. Just imagine, you close your eyes, you're daydreaming. Imagine that you had to do this thing for the next 40 years of your life. How much would you hate your life if you keep doing those things? So it's that, you keep doing the things that you're good at, but you don't like, versus the things that you want to be good at, that you really love, but right now, you suck at it. That's the hardest thing for people. It's like, you want to get good at this other thing. That's where your passion is. That's where your heart is, but you don't have the skills yet. And so a lot of entrepreneurs, is where they quit. It's where a lot of you will quit. You'll stop because you're not good at it. It's like, oh, wow, I suck at it. And so I guess I'll never be good at it. And so then you don't do it. Where all you need to do is flip it to say, okay, I don't suck as a human. I'm not good at the skill set yet, but I can get good at it. How do I get good at it is by practicing. When I first started making videos, everything is against me, right? If you look at who I was, where I came from, my personality, my thought process, everything was against me for making videos. So let me break it down. Let me actually take you into the early days of Evan Carmichael making YouTube videos. I am shy. I am introverted. I don't like disappointing people. I have no need to be famous. You know, I don't like the spotlight. I actually would rather be at the back of the room instead of, you know, on stage. All of this doesn't sound good for somebody who's is then gonna go make videos. Turning on the camera terrified me. I'm filming here in a parking lot, right? Or my wife is shopping at Costco there. I would never be able to do this. You know, there's people walking by. This would freak me out. I would say, who's that crazy guy in the car doing that thing? You know, on paper, I guess everything looked like it was against me. I made a video because I had this idea to make a video because I'm a visual learner. I think your purpose comes from your pain. I struggled so much as an entrepreneur. I wanted to make the road a little bit easier for other entrepreneurs. And so I made one video, and it was not the greatest experience. I was terrified. I was sitting down. I was in a suit. I was nervous. I was memorizing a script because I was so worried that I was going to say the wrong words and people wouldn't like my video. So you can go back and watch that first one I did on Walt Disney. And it took a day or whatever to make this one short video. And I'm not even on camera for most of it. Most of it is me doing an audio because I could read it. I wanted to read the script. I had the perfect script. And there was B-roll on top of it. And there was very little of me actually on camera. But even those few lines I had on camera, I was terrified. And I was trying to memorize and I was sweating. And it was funny. Sitting down in a suit, all that was hilarious. I wasn't very good at it. But there was something about it that I just liked. I liked it. I liked the idea. None of it made sense, right? Again, there was no option to be YouTube famous. Nobody was YouTube famous in education in 2009 when I first started. It didn't exist. And my personality of being introverted, shy, all that did not lend itself well to being a personality. But for some reason, even though everything was seemingly against me on paper, I liked it. And I wasn't very good at it, but I thought, you know what, I can get better. I'm gonna keep doing this thing. And it took me, you could see my stats, and I post it often to my Instagram once a month. It's an update of how my channel's doing. From the first video that I posted, it took 5 years to get to 9,000 subscribers. 5 years to get to 9,000 subscribers. A lot of you guys are already way ahead of that after your first year of just making content. You're already ahead. And then I went 5 years again from the 9,000 to 2 million. See, there's a person next to me right now. Try to film her. This would freak me out. I'm gonna be filming here, making a video with this person's right next to me. How is she judging me? What is she thinking? What is she doing? I'd get super distracted and I wouldn't be able to film content. So it took me 350 videos until I wasn't completely embarrassed by myself. Embarrassed, like I couldn't watch back my own videos. They were too painful to watch. I would look at it, I would judge myself, I would criticize myself, I would say, man, you're still not very good. I would find a million things that was wrong with the video. Just so many things that I was not happy with. 350 public videos, guys, 350. And then it took 700 videos until I inspired myself. Until I watched it back, I said, man, you know what? I'm starting to get decent at this. There's something there. Maybe I have a future here. 700 public videos later, it's crazy. So what kept me through it? What kept me consistent? How did I keep going? Because the mission, yes, of wanting to help serve entrepreneurs, but also I liked it. I liked the process of doing it. There was something, again, even though it didn't make sense, for someone like me to do it, I liked it. It was fun. And so I kept going. And now we're over 10,000 videos later, still making content, still doing it, and not burning out because I like the process. If you love what you're doing, you're not going to burn out.
Rule number 6, set a deadline.
For too many of us, there's no deadline. When's the deadline on your dreams? When's the deadline to make your content? When's the deadline to actually execute things? For most of us, there's no deadline. You don't have a deadline. And so because you don't have the deadline, you allow yourself to procrastinate and to tinker and to make things perfect and to never release because there's no deadline. It doesn't matter enough. When I'm making videos, I have to make a certain number of videos every week for my channels. And there's a deadline. I have to get them done today. They have to get done today because tomorrow I'm doing something else and the next day I'm doing something else. And I'm not touching my YouTube content again until next Tuesday. So if I don't get it done today, then my team doesn't have content to go off and create for the channels. And then I'm disappointing you. And it's been, 7 or 8 years since we have not uploaded a video on one of our channels. Years. It's been years. Years of consistency. And that's how you start to build the machine, because there's a deadline, because it matters, because it's important today.
Rule number 7, have a constant reminder.
Have a reminder system in your life constantly. What are the things? Because you're feeling it right now. Hopefully, if you're watching, you're feeling it right now. You're feeling excited right now. You're going to make a change right now. And then tomorrow you're going to fall back to who you used to be. So what do you need in your environment? What do you need in your habits and your daily routines to remind you? You need a reminder system so it can become more automatic, that it doesn't rely on your self-will and your discipline constantly, that it gets introduced to you constantly, whether that's YouTube videos. Hey, Espresso, 5 days a week, every morning. I'm here. Let's go. Here's a new video for you. If it's Ed Milet's channel or Tony Robbins' channel or Oprah Winfrey's videos, like whoever, or if it's books or podcasts, if it's your physical environment, if it's morning intention, like just figure it out for yourself and schedule it in. Schedule in the reminders. Schedule in the intentionality so that this doesn't just become a one-off moment, but that it's a daily reminder. It's a daily consistency. It's daily momentum, because you need that.
Rule number 8, choose to be happy.
Happiness comes down to fulfillment versus excitement. When people ask me, hey, Evan, how do you define happiness? This is one of the most common questions I get asked when I'm doing interviews and podcasts and such. What does happiness look like to you? Well, happiness is fulfillment and excitement, because it's a very interesting word. So let's break it down. Fulfillment is feeling like what you do matters. You're happy when you feel like what you do matters. You're happy when you feel like you wake up today and today is going to matter. This is what we all want. We all want to feel like what we're going to do today is going to have an impact on somebody else's life. We are all built to serve. You want to feel important to somebody else, not just from a ego perspective that, oh, I matter and I'm important, but in a way that you contributed to somebody else's life. We're all connected. We want to feel connected. We want to feel like this is gonna matter today, that this video that I make for you, even though I'm here just in the car by myself. Well, Nina's back there. Hello, Nina. Even though I'm just here filming by myself in the car, I want to feel like this video is touching somebody. It's touching you, that you guys are watching it, and hopefully the message here is going to be inspiring and helpful to you in some way. We all want that. That's fulfillment, right? If you wake up too many days in a row and you feel like today doesn't matter, nobody cares if I show up, nobody cares if I do a good job or not, nobody cares. That's a fast path to depression and worst case suicide, right? That's where a lot of people unfortunately are living right now, is they don't feel like they matter. They're not happy because there's no fulfillment. They're not happy because they feel like they don't matter to anybody. So that's fulfillment. The other side of happiness is excitement. You're happy when you feel like you're doing something new. You're happy when you get to try something new. You get to have fun. You get to do something that hasn't been done before. You're going out of your comfort zone, or you're having this quick hit, right? I mean, it could be anything from I'm excited to have my coffee. I'm excited to have my Starbucks. When we go once a week to film, we get a Starbucks, put some cream in, and I'm excited for the taste, right? You could be excited for that donut or that meal. It may not even be good for you. The donut's not good for you, but you're still excited to have it because it tastes so good. You're chasing this little momentary high. Or you could be excited to go on that vacation. You're excited, just something new. It's a moment in time. It's the candy, it's the sweets, right? And it's the sweets of life. It's not sustainable, but it's not designed to be sustainable. It's these little moments in time that make us happy. And that's true too, but that's why it's excitement. Jumping from an airplane, is exciting. It's not sustainable. You're not gonna show up every day and fall from the airplane all day long, right? And so I think where a lot of people struggle, a lot of entrepreneurs especially, is we're chasing the excitement only. You're chasing what it's going to feel like when you hit your goal, when you have 1 million subscribers or 1 million in revenue or whatever success looks like to you. Where what we're missing is the fulfillment part of it. So there's nothing wrong with chasing those goals. There's nothing wrong with having that caffeine high, that sugar rush, that, hey, I hit my goal, amazing. There's nothing wrong with it. But if that's all there is, you need the meal. Right? If that's all there is, you're never actually going to be happy, because those are just moments in time. That you get excited today if that something happened, and then you might wait another month before the next exciting thing happens. We're just adrenaline junkies. This is what entrepreneurs are. A lot of entrepreneurs just become adrenaline junkies chasing the next high. That's not sustainable, that's not healthy, and that's not ultimate happiness. You have to pair it with the fulfillment. When you can do both, that I'm chasing these big goals, these big dreams, or even something small I can do right now to get excited, and pairing it with what I do matters. This is fulfilling to me. This is going to make a difference in somebody's life. That's where I think you have long-term, sustainable, healthy forms of happiness. The good news is both of them you can accomplish right now. At any point in time, you could choose to help somebody. You could choose to go serve somebody, right? At any point in time. It could be, helping those people put the groceries in their car, right? They could go help them, or take the shopping cart and put it away for them. Random act of kindness. It could be going to somebody's YouTube comments and leaving a nice message. Think about a creator that you like to follow, somebody else that you subscribe to, who maybe doesn't have as big a following. Go leave a nice message. How long does it take you to do? Right? 18 seconds. You just made a difference in somebody's life. Right? Responding to somebody who follows you on Instagram and saying, hey, thank you for following me on Instagram. I really appreciate you. That's how I built my Instagram following. I'd be sitting here at a Costco, individually messaging people who followed me to say, hey, Rick, hey, Susan, hey, Jennifer, thank you so much for following me. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Send. Next. Right? 7 seconds, 8 seconds, 15 seconds at a time. You can choose at any point to be happy.
Rule number 9, be positive.
I think you're a tree. And I wrote about this in my book, Built to Serve. I think you're a tree. What does a tree do? A tree breathes in the carbon dioxide, which too much of for humans is poison. The trees will breathe it in. They'll eat it. They'll grow from it. And then they'll spit out oxygen, positivity for the world. I see that as part of our role as leaders and as entrepreneurs, is to eat other people's negativity, grow from it, get better from it, and then spit out more positivity, more oxygen for the world. Ultimately, the people who are negative in your life, you have an ability to influence them. You have an ability to help them see the positive road, not through your advice, but through your actions. By you going off and doing your thing will inspire other people to want to change their life as well. Whoever is more confident wins. And when you're around really negative people, if you are doubting your positivity, they're going to win. They're going to drag you down. But ultimately, the goal is to get so positive, so optimistic, so happy that you pull them up. That you're more positive, you're more certain in your positivity than they are certain in their negativity. And you pull them towards making a better life decision.
Rule number 10, the last one before our very special bonus clip, make work fun.
I have a list of beliefs that I read every morning. Every single morning I have it written on my computer, I pop it up, and these are the lists of beliefs and values that I want to remind myself of, that I want to live today and every day. And I find that reminding myself of it in the morning helps make sure that I actually follow through on it during the day. And so one of those things that I read to myself every morning is that work is play. One of the beliefs that I want to espouse on a daily basis is that work is play. That work isn't just work. That work isn't a place to go and die. Work isn't a place to go and struggle. And yes, work is a lot of hard work, right? Work is a lot of a grind. Work is a lot of getting stuff done and checking a lot of things off the list, right? You want to be productive and feel like you're creating meaningful value in the world today, but it doesn't have to suck. Like, work can be fun. And it's partly enjoying the work, having passion for what you're doing, right? Doing something that you feel is meaningful, but also just having fun with it. And so if I look at some of the things that I do, in our office environment, I had Alex and Lily over and they started breaking out into a song.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
Row your boat gently down the stream.
And in the morning when I'm making videos for my book, you'll see me on Snapchat with, rabbit ears or raccoon ears or some fun filter on it. And fun is different to each person, right? I'm not the guy who's going to be out cracking jokes. That's maybe more Alex's style. But the point is that you're doing the things that you can express your creativity through, that you are having fun with. If you are on your way to your office, whether your office is your basement or your home office or an actual office where you have your employees and team members, if you're on your way to go and do work and you are dreading it, it's like, oh, another day. And it's like, it feels like the world is beating you down. You're not going to create great work. Like, if you feel like you have to just plow through a whole bunch of crap every day, it's not going to feel fun. You're not going to create an amazing experience. And so if you can approach it with, how can I have fun today? It's just asking that question. How can I make this fun? It's not by taking breaks, right? It's not by doing something in between to break up the crap, right? It's not, okay, I'm gonna grind through this for 2 hours, and then I'm gonna take a celebration and go grab a coffee and then come back and then I'm gonna grind out some more. It's like, how can you make the grind fun? How can you inject fun into the actual process so that you are enjoying the process? Because if you can get to that point, it's not that every single minute of every day is going to be amazing, but if you get to that point where work is play, where work is fun, you're not just going to have more fun, but it's going to show in the result as well. It's going to show in what you create. You're going to create better things. It's going to add more value. It's going to help you grow your business much more than if you go to work every day feeling like the world is crushing you down.
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I want to know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's what the science says. And that is not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to do better. When you actually get motivated and then create a specific plan of action for what you're going to do this week, you have a 91% chance of following through. And when you publicly commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment below on this video, it jumps even higher. So I want that for you. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week so I can celebrate with you. Entrepreneurship is one of the hardest things that you're ever going to do in your life, and it's totally worth it. It's totally worth it. Whether it actually works out or not, most entrepreneurs will fail. Something like 85% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Most businesses won't work, but it's totally worth it. Why? Because you're showing yourself that you bet on yourself. You're showing yourself that you're following through and taking action on your ideas, that you're worthy. You're showing yourself that you're worthy. You're showing yourself that you believe in you. And if you keep doing that, you're gonna win. The path to living a happy life, a fulfilled life, a life that you're proud of, is one where you continue to show up for yourself. And the minute that you stop, when you stop showing up for yourself, when you just throw in the towel and say, this is over, I'm just gonna work for somebody else, I'm gonna help somebody else build their dreams instead of chasing down mine, that's when life starts to fall apart. You know, that's the path down to unhappiness and depression. And it doesn't mean that everybody has to be an entrepreneur, but what you have to do is continue to bet on yourself. You have to continue to bet on your ideas. You have to continue to say, I came up with this good idea, and because I came up with it, therefore it's a worthy endeavor for me to chase it down. I got asked on my live stream yesterday, how do I know when to quit? You know, is quitting bad? Do I quit on something? How do I know when to quit? Some people say never give up, always keep going, and some people are the opposite. So what's the right advice? The right answer is, if you love it, you have to keep going. If you love it, you have to find a way to keep going. So for a lot of cases, that's what entrepreneurship is. You've got a dream, you've got a mission, you've got some goals that you genuinely love, that you really want to build, to create, to serve, to help people with. And it's that love that's going to keep you going, because in the early days it's going to suck. It's the chewing glass and eating to the abyss, right? You have that moment of high at the beginning of, I'm going to start this thing. Oh my God, this is so exciting. And then you land into the valley of no momentum, nothing working, no results, nobody praising you anymore, nobody celebrating you for starting the business. Now you're in the actual running of it and you're not getting the results that you want. And you're trying to show how you're winning and post it on Instagram, but you're not, and you know you're not, and you feel like a fraud. And this is the life cycle that a lot of entrepreneurs go through. But if you love it, you have to keep going. You have to. You could be a lot more honest. You could be a lot more vulnerable. You could be a lot more authentic. You can understand that you don't have to do this all by yourself. This is my biggest problem. When I started my company, I was failing. I was flat out failing. I was $300 a month, like failing. And I was too embarrassed and ashamed to tell my friends that I was failing. I wanted to look like I was doing well, because I turned down the jobs that they all went and got, and they're all making high 5-figure, low 6-figure jobs out of university, and I'm making $300 a month. I was just embarrassed. I was just too embarrassed. And I made it harder on myself to be alone. You don't have to be alone. You can make it easier by just letting people in. When you're down in the dumps, being by yourself is usually the worst thing. If you can be around other people, especially people who support you, a lot of people will. Let's circle back to the idea that if you don't love it, you're going to regret it. Why do you have to keep going? Why do you have to keep going? Why is it so important if you love it? Because you will regret it. Because you will look back on this moment in your life and say, I should have done more. I could have done more. I regret not giving it one more week, one more month, one more year. I regret it. You will regret it. That's the only thing that saved my first business. I quit on my partner. I told him, I'm done. I need to feel like I'm a valuable human again. Nothing I'm doing is working, and I hate how this makes me feel as a person. Nothing against you or the business, just how I feel. I need to feel like I'm valuable again somehow. That was the conversation. And then the next day I woke up and I said, I can't quit because I'm going to regret this. I know I'm going to regret this. I'm going to be an old man at 40. I'm 41 now. I'm going to be an old man at 40 and regret that I wasted my life and I didn't do this thing. And that's the only thing that gave me the courage, the motivation, the energy to get back up and just keep going. You will regret this. If you love it and you stop now, you will regret this for your entire life. Now, on the flip side, I think there are many things that you should quit on sooner. The difference is if you don't love it, you need to quit on it. If you don't love it anymore, and maybe you never loved it in the first place, then you need to move on because you will never win doing work that you hate. The people who are at the top of their game, people that I've studied, how many successful people have I studied and profiled and showcased on all of these channels? How many? So many people, right? The one thing they all have in common is that they love what they do. They love the process. They love the work. They love the grind. It's not a grind for them because they're in it so much and they love it. So that's who you're going up against, right? And if you don't love it, you're always going to lose. No matter how smart you are, you're going to lose because you're going up against people who absolutely love the thing. And so that's what you need. You need to be loving your thing. And so if you're in it just as a strategy, you're going to lose. Move on immediately as soon as your heart's not into it. Either sell it, or if it's too new, then you just flat out move on. I think people stay in relationships for too long. I think people stay in businesses for too long because you're afraid of failure, because you're afraid of what it means if you quit on something and go to something else. You're afraid of what people are going to say. You're afraid of what the person looking back at you in the mirror is going to think if you quit. You're afraid of the uncertainty of where to go next, because if this thing, at least I know what this thing is doing. I don't know what the future holds for me if I go somewhere else. A lot of people are handcuffed by having a little bit of money, not a lot, but enough to survive. And that then prevents them from taking the next jump, which they actually need to do because their heart's not in the thing. So many people start a business because they're just trying to make money. People ask me, what's the number one business to get into for this year to make a lot of money? That's the wrong question. You're asking that question, you're going to lose. You can't start with how to make money. You start with the thing that you love that brings value, and inside of that, you're making money. Making money is important, 100%. If you don't make money, you will not have a business. Making money has to be in your top 5 of priorities. But if you make it number 1, you're gonna lose, because you're always gonna be chasing the next hot thing, never get good enough at anything to actually be the best in the world, which is actually how you start to make a lot of money. You need to be the best in the world at something. How do you get that? By loving the thing so much. And by wanting to serve and help people get better at it too. That's how you win.
The problem isn't that you're not a genius, that you're not talented, that you don't have wisdom and abilities and resourcefulness, and that you're not Michael Jordan. That's not the problem. The problem is you're not focused. You're not doing the things that you need to do. I just came back from Video Marketing World in Dallas, and I was being asked about where to spend your time, which social media sites to spend time on. And I think this is a classic example of where entrepreneurs fail. Is you're trying to do everything, and as a result, you suck everywhere and feel burnt out, tapped out, and not building momentum. If you get to the end of a week and you feel like you worked your face off, but you look back and what did I get done? If that's how you're ending a week, you worked hard and you feel like, what did I get done? You're not focused. You're switching between tasks too much. Instead of having all of these social media sites at the same time, pick one and crush it. I quoted Andrew Carnegie at my event, at my speech. My favorite quote from him is, put all your eggs in one basket and then watch that basket. Everybody's saying diversify, diversify, diversify. Have 18 different multiple streams of income. Look at the people who are a one-person show with 18 streams of income. They're making no money. You're making $10 a month from this and $25 a month from that and 18 cents from this. You're not making money. Now, as you build and scale and grow and you have a team like I do, I've got 24 people on my team. Okay, great. Now it might be time to diversify. But as a solo person, you can't do everything yourself. And you are a genius. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. And that's what you need to find. And that's what you need to spend as much time as possible on until you're making money. You can invest back into your business and continue to grow. I think everyone is born an optimist, and then your environment sucks the soul out of most people. When you're a baby, you don't stress out about how you look, what you're wearing, or how you're smelling. When you're a kid, you don't hate your life and complain about the world. If there's negativity in your head, it was put there by someone. And if you want to change it, you need to change your environment. So I've had the good pleasure of seeing one of my friends, Mark Drager, a great friend of the channel, been involved with the channel for a number of years, become more optimistic, become more positive. And he was wondering, could I even do it? Is it possible? He was a guy who was naturally pessimistic. He had a lot of stuff happen to him, like we all have, a lot of situations, a lot of circumstances that made him see the negative of what's happening, of be pessimistic, of not being the typical optimistic, everything's gonna work out great entrepreneur. And so what changed? Over the past 12 months, he's made a significant investment in himself. I've been hanging around with him a lot more. We've co-hosted a podcast together. He's hanging around me, my content, Gary Vee's content, Tom Bilyeu's content more. He's been to Tony Robbins' seminar twice in the past year, brought his team with him, and he's slowly inching towards more optimism, more positivity, that more things are possible. Because of the negative upbringing that he had, it takes a lot of unwiring. It takes a lot of shifting your focus. It takes a lot of, with purpose, with intent, changing your environment, changing the people you hang out with, changing the physical environment that you're in to make a change. I went to Mark's office and he's moving his office. He's creating his own office. He's putting a picture on the wall of himself and then what he wants to be as positive inspiration every day. He's looking at what kind of colors and what kind of furnishings and what kind of decor can I have in my office to make me feel bold, to make me feel alive every single day. It's possible. And I think that's the starting point for a lot of people. It's possible to change your outlook. It's possible to become more optimistic. That negativity that was planted in your head was put there by somebody else who hates their life. You were not born to wake up and hate your life. You were not born to wake up and think that it's just negativity all around the world. You're not born to wake up and be a pessimist. You're not. It was put there by somebody else who hated their life. And we need to eject that person. We need to unwire the years or decades of training. And in that void, you replace it with the thing that you want. If you want more optimism, you surround yourself with the most optimistic people you can find. In person, on your team, in video format, in the books you read, in the clubs you're hanging out with. You first limit access from the negative people, limit exposure. You may not be able to completely wipe them out, like maybe they're your parents. But you can limit exposure, you can limit access, either with time or just topics that you're covering, and then inject more positivity and optimism to the people, books, resources, environment that you have around you.
You need to make the big decisions in your life with your heart and the small ones with your head. This is where so many entrepreneurs fall down. This is where so many entrepreneurs make mistakes, because you see a trend, you see an opportunity, you see something that makes sense. It just makes sense on paper. It's so clear that this is going to happen. But if it doesn't energize you, if you don't love it, if it's not in your heart to say, man, I can't wait to go off and do that thing, you're never going to win. You're never going to win, because you're going up against people who love it. You're going up against people who love it, who breathe it, who sleep it, who dream about it. And for you, it's just an opportunity. You're never going to win big. Look at all your heroes, all your mentors, the people you look up to, the people who've done it. It's like, I want to be like this person in my field. I want to do it like she did it, like he did it. They love doing the thing. They love doing the thing. Doing it gives them energy. I look at what I do. I'm here in Dallas. I'm about to speak at Video Marketing World, an annual summit of some of the top creators on YouTube to help share, give back, help the community, give feedback, train on YouTube. I love doing this stuff. What am I? I'm in the parking lot filming videos for you guys. Not because it's a strategy, not because I need to make a video a day, because I love it. This is the best. I'm about to go into this meeting, to this conference, and I'm gonna hang out with entrepreneurs all day long. From the time I get in there until whatever time AM, I'm gonna be hanging out with entrepreneurs and helping them with their business, helping them with their channel, because I love it. And if that sounds exhausting for you, amazing, don't do it. And if it sounds energizing for you, yes, go and do it. You need to make the big decisions with your heart. And then your head's still important. It's like, don't listen, the message is not don't listen to logic. The message is not don't look for opportunities. It's look for opportunities within the thing that you love, right? If I love making videos and I love making content and I love helping entrepreneurs, but I went all in on MySpace right now, I'm gonna lose. It's not the right strategy, right? You need both. It's working hard plus working smart. It's following what you love doing plus chasing opportunities. But what takes precedence? What's the most important thing? Your heart, the energy. If you are saying, oh man, Monday, if that's your mindset around Monday, you're doing the wrong thing. You're in the wrong career, you're in the wrong business. You will never be the top player in your industry. It'll never happen for you if that's your mindset. If you're itching to get back to it, if you can't wait to go to that meeting, can't wait to code, can't wait to make that piece of art, can't wait to go and make that video, can't wait to sit down and write lyrics for your next song, if that's the thing, then you're gonna be successful. It's not gonna be easy, it's still a long road, it's still a path, you still have to put in the grind and the effort and use strategies to help you get there faster, but it has to start by doing things that are energizing to you. You're gonna spend so much time working. Guys, you're gonna spend so much time working as an entrepreneur. Why not do stuff that makes you come alive? Why not do stuff that gives you energy? And so I want you to get out of your head. I want you to stop making decisions first from your head. I want you to stop making decisions only because it's gonna help you get some goal. It's short-term thinking, and you're never gonna win doing it. Big decisions with the heart, big decisions that give you energy. Look at your calendar. Are you energized about the week that's coming up? Look at your calendar. Go load your calendar right now. Load it on your computer, load it on your phone, however you're loading your calendar. Look at it. Look at your calendar. Look at the week ahead. Are you excited? Are you excited about what you're about to do? If not, you're doing the wrong stuff. If you're only excited about 10% of your calendar, you're only pouring your genius, your Michael Jordan level talent into 10% of your time, you're not gonna get to where you wanna go. You need to flip it. Even if it doesn't make practical sense at the beginning. Because all great things are made from the heart. All great things, every great business, every great song, every great creation started from here, from a place of passion, from a place of purpose, from a place of energy. And I want to put some pressure on you guys to go off and chase it down, because so many entrepreneurs fail and they lose a lot of money. It's not an easy game, but one of the biggest reasons, if not the number one reason, is because people pick an industry, people pick a business idea solely because they're chasing an opportunity down and they didn't love doing the work.
There's a reason why in my videos I say you have Michael Jordan level talent. I believe it, it's true. You have Michael Jordan level talent at something. You are the best, the absolute best at something in the world. Most people, either one, don't believe it. They don't believe that they're world class at something. Or two, they found the thing that they could be world class at, but they don't have enough guts to chase it down. They don't believe in themselves enough to chase it down. Here's the thing. You need to first explore. You need to explore. You gotta search. You gotta say yes. You gotta try things. You don't know that Tim Hortons is your favorite coffee cup until you've tried it, right? You don't know that sushi is your favorite food until you've tried it. Sushi doesn't make sense. Right? This is how we think. Our logical brain starts to analyze things, and because it doesn't make sense, we don't try it. Sushi doesn't make sense. You're gonna take raw fish, mix it with rice, put seaweed around it, and then eat it. That sounds nasty, right? If you've never tried it before, it sounds nasty, but it's the best. A lot of the things that you might be great at, you are judging, you are dismissing because it doesn't make logical sense. You don't need to wrap your head around it. You need to wrap your heart around it. You have to feel it. You have to say yes and be willing to try it at least once. If you don't know what you're great at, you have to say yes and try things. And you pay attention to the feeling. The most important thing is you pay attention to the feeling. How did it make you feel? You might not be great at it. I expect not to get results at the beginning of anything, especially if it's a new skill you're learning, right? Expect to suck at the beginning. You're gonna suck. It's okay, it's normal. But how does it make you feel? Does it energize you? Do you want to come back and do it again? What would the boldest version of you do? Think about your mission. Think about your goals. Think about what you are trying to accomplish. You've got what you're doing now, but think about what the boldest version of you, if you summoned the boldest version of you into existence right now, what would he or she tell you to do? So when I did my tour earlier this year, it was 90 days, 23 cities. And at first I wanted to do it for free. I love doing free coffee shop meetups every time I travel to a new city. And I told my agent, Steve in New York, hey man, this is my idea. He said, you need to charge for the event. You gotta play bigger. You gotta do a bolder version of you. And it's freaked me out. It scared me because I don't want to disappoint people. And the idea of charging for something and then me disappointing people and then hitting that fear every 4 days, because I got up in a new city every 3 to 4 days for 90 days, was me being able to conquer my fears. And so Steve pushed me, and I have Steve's voice in my head. It's like, you need to play bigger. You got to do something bolder. What's the next step? And so I'm looking at my next tour coming up in 2020 around my book, Built to Serve, and I'm trying to think, how do I make it even bigger? How do I make it even bolder? Because what I've done has been great. And it's not trying to take away from what I've done. It's amazing. I'm proud of myself. I'm grateful. Awesome. And I know I'm capable of more. And I know I need to do something at the next level, because if I want to go off and accomplish my mission, I need to. Because at the rate I'm going right now, I'm not gonna hit 1 billion people. I'm not gonna solve the world's biggest problem. I'm not gonna have the impact and reach that I know I can have unless I demand more boldness, bigger scale from myself on a daily basis. And so for me, having Steve's voice in my head, having Elon Musk's voice in my head, having Steve Jobs and Ipa Giannini and my parents and Kanye West and Howard Schultz constantly in my head, the content that I make is for myself. It's selfish for myself, and then I share it with you guys, and thankfully you like it, so I could build a business around it and hire your team and keep creating more. What makes you bold? What makes you come alive? And how do you summon that creature on a daily basis? If you wake up and you daily, every day, consistently are bringing the boldest version of you, even for 1 year, if you woke up every day for 1 year and summoned the boldest version of you, your life is gonna look dramatically different 1 year from today. Stop thinking that you should be fearless. If you go through life fearless, that means you are playing small and not doing anything that is worth doing. You should be dreaming big. You should be pushing boundaries, and in that push comes fear. Instead of trying to be fearless, adopt the mindset that you want to feel the fear and do it anyway. Otherwise, you will never take on big projects, and you'll never accomplish your mission, and you'll always live below the potential that you know you're capable of. Not asking for help is selfish. You might think that trying to do everything yourself is selfless, that it's wrong to ask for help and noble to do everything yourself. But you love helping people. You love helping others. Remember that joy you feel when you help somebody and brought a smile to their face knowing you made their week? By you not asking for help, you're cheating people of that opportunity to bring a smile to their face. Stop being selfish and start asking for help. I came up with this idea when I was at a video game cafe. So here's what happened. I was on a call with one of my big customers at the time, and I was in Los Angeles, and we're doing a Google Live, streaming to my YouTube channel, lots of people watching, YouTube Live, I'm interviewing him, and then the internet goes down. Like, what happened? The power went out across all of Los Angeles. The power goes out and it's down. I got nothing. The stream is still live, but I'm not there anymore. I left my client live on the stream, and he's not sure what happens. He just sees my camera go down, and then he keeps going by himself for another 15, 20 minutes, waiting for me to come back. And he's embarrassed, and it's awkward, and he doesn't know what he's doing because the host who has the audience there is now gone. And then eventually he just leaves because he said, well, I don't know where Evan is, but thank you guys for watching. And it put him in a really difficult situation. I felt terrible. I went back to watching the live stream after, like, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Now, it's out of my control. The internet goes down in Los Angeles. What am I supposed to do? There's no power anywhere. So as soon as the power gets back up, I message my client and say, hey man, I'm really sorry about that. Let's reschedule it. Let's do it again when I'm back home in Toronto where I know I have stable internet and I want to do it again for free, no extra cost. Even though we had almost finished the live stream together, we're gonna do a whole other one for free just because I want to make this right for you. Great. So we come back to Toronto. It's like a week or two later. And my internet is pretty rock solid in my home office. I've never had an internet issue really happen while I was doing a live stream, but I wanted to make extra sure that this time nothing happened, because if something happened the second time, it would not be a good thing. So I asked my friend Jay Rise and I said, Jay Rise, I need a place that has rock solid internet that I'm gonna do this live stream and nothing can go wrong. And he said, I got a place, it's an internet cafe that I go to. I'll introduce you to the owner, I know him, and you can do it there. Like, thank you so much. So we go there, I'm there an hour early, I'm setting up, I'm talking to the owner, I'm testing the gear, my microphone, the headset, all of it, the camera, testing all of it, just to make sure that everything is working smoothly. I'm nervous because the last time it failed on us. My client comes on, we go live for half an hour, I don't remember, and it was smooth, perfect, no issues, crisp, amazing internet, blazing fast speeds, great time with the audience, and we delivered an awesome product. Sigh of relief, right? I'm so pumped. I go talk to the owner and say, dude, thank you, man. It was perfect, no complaints, no problems, thank you so much. How much do I owe you? And he said, well, you were on the computer for about an hour and a half, and Jay Raj was on the computer for about an hour and a half, but I'll just bundle it together. So I forget what he told me. It was like $5 or $7 or $10 or something. Like, are you kidding me? I would have paid $1,000. I would have paid a lot of money just to make sure that this went smoothly, because it's the relationship with my client at the time, right? I said, okay, well, great. Here's the $7 that you wanted. Awesome. Let me buy some stuff from behind the counter. Let me buy some snacks from my friend Jay Raz. Jay Raz was hungry. He needed to eat. So like, here's $20, $25. Let me just buy out a whole bunch of your snacks and give it to him. He's like, no, you don't have to do that, man. Don't worry about it. Like, no, I want to do it. Let me buy the snack. No, don't worry about it. The owner thought that he was doing a good thing. The owner thought that he was being selfless, that, hey, don't worry, but you don't have to do it, that just paying for the internet was enough for him. But he was actually being selfish. In that moment, he was being selfish because he cheated me of the opportunity of, one, saying thank you, I wanted to pay more, I want to pay more. You're cheating me of the opportunity to do it, and you're cheating me of the opportunity to help my friend Jay Rise and give him some food because he was hungry, so we had to go somewhere else. You need to be willing to bring other people in. You need to be willing to ask for help. Yes, you don't want to waste your time. Yes, you want to be respectful. Yes, but people love helping others. We are built to serve. You want to help other people. That joy that you feel when you help somebody out, allow it to come into other people's hearts too. If you quit on something too soon that you still love, you will regret it for the rest of your life. If you don't love it anymore, quit. Move on. You will never win doing work that you hate. But if you love it, and you move on to something else, you will look back on this day and regret it for the rest of your life that you did not see it through. Most people spend their entire life living with regrets. Don't let that be you. The hardest decision I ever had to make in my life was being an entrepreneur. I struggled a lot with the decision, do I want to be an entrepreneur, and had this opportunity to make $300 a month and earn 30% of a company versus going to work at a job that I thought I wanted, a job that I'd been preparing myself for, that this is what I wanted to do. It was in my high school yearbook of this is where I was going to be. And here it was, earning 6 figures, traveling around the world, doing the investment banking that I thought I wanted to do, versus making $300 a month and owning 30% of a company. And the thing that allowed me to push through and be an entrepreneur was me saying, I don't want to live with regret. That I would rather no one fail than not know. And I gave myself a year. I said, I'm going to give myself a year to do this. I could always go back and get another job. It may not be the same job, it probably wouldn't be the same job. It may not be as much pay, it may not be traveling as much as this job was offering me to travel. But this entrepreneurial thing, this opportunity that I had, I never knew if it would come back again. Like I thought maybe this will never happen to me again. And so I decided to go for it. And we struggled and it was hard, but I never ended up having to go back and get another job. And so if you're at an inflection point, if you're thinking about which path should I take, A or B, lean in with your heart. Stop using your head. Your head only understands the world that currently exists. Lean in with your heart and ask yourself, which decision will I regret more if I don't do? And then go take that action. I became an entrepreneur because I didn't want to regret not having at least tried. And a great moment in my life came a number of years later where one of the people I went to university with came back and said, Evan, I went down that path. I became the investment banker and I hate my life. How do I become an entrepreneur? And I looked in his eyes and I saw the desperation and the sadness and helped him, but also was so grateful that that wasn't me, because it could have been.
The fastest way to learn anything is to model someone who has done it before you. You don't need to have all the answers yourself. You don't need to have decades of experience to win. If you want to shortcut your path and stop wasting time, you need to learn to model success. So I recently came back from speaking in Phoenix. I was at an event with Brendon Burchard and Dee Graziosi and Eric Thomas and a bunch of amazing speakers. And I have a lot of experience in speaking. I've been listed by Forbes and Inc. magazine as one of the greatest speakers in the world, super humbling award, but I still want to get better. I still want to learn. I still want to improve. And so before getting on stage, I was talking to Brendon Burchard backstage and he said, hey, I'm going to watch your speech. I'm going to finish my interview here and I want to make sure that I watch your speech. And so I get on stage and it's tons of fun. I come back out and Brendon is running down the aisle and he's got his hands up and he's super excited and he said, that was amazing. And he's telling me about how great the speech was and how much I helped his audience and thanking me. And I said, amazing, thank you so much, appreciate you. Let me ask you, how do I make it better? You've done a lot of these, you've done more than I have. You're filling out, huge rooms full of people. How can I get better? I want to model success. I want to learn from somebody who's done more than me. And chances are something great's going to come back, right? Like, tell me I suck, Brendon. Tell me I suck. How do I improve? And he gave me a bunch of great feedback. He said, one, I need to use the stage more. So I was walking kind of like this. I was walking around like this and at a slow pace because I think as I'm going. But he said, no, you need to walk faster. You need to walk faster like this and always facing the audience. And there's this giant stage that I was speaking at. And he said, you got to make sure you hit both sides of the stage at least 4 times. If you're speaking for an hour, you got to hit both sides of the stage at least 4 times because, Evan, what you did really well was you kept the people's focus who are really in front of you in this circle, but the people who are out there, they didn't connect with you as much. Great, awesome feedback. I got to take that home and improve. He also said to be bigger and more animated. And this also makes sense from my salsa background. When you're doing performance on stage, you need to make everything big. Because the people who are up front can see you, but the people who are at the back, they can't see the expressions, they can't see the movement, so it's got to be bigger than you would normally do it. And so even though I knew that lesson from a different set of experiences in salsa dancing, I hadn't applied it yet to my speaking. And so it was great. It was great learning experience. And if I didn't ask Brendon, hey, what can you teach me? How could I do better? The worst case scenario is he says, there's nothing, it was perfect. Great. I want to know how I can improve though, right? And he gave me 2 pieces of advice that now I could take into my next speaking gig to make it even better, right? That's the idea of modeling success. You find people who've done it before, who are better than you at least one certain thing, and ask them, how did they do it? And ask them to critique you and break you down, because through that, you will shortcut your path to getting there faster.
You will never accomplish your business goals without a team. You have big goals, big dreams, big ambitions. It will never happen as a solo entrepreneur. You need to get out of the mindset that you can do everything yourself. You can't. You can go fast. You can stay small, be nimble, and being a solo person. And you still may always be the most powerful and important individual in your company, but you need to build a team. You need to scale up, and you need to get over your fears and hire properly. So I think a big reason why most entrepreneurs don't end up building successful teams is because they get burned, because you don't know how to hire properly, because you hire somebody, you think, this is great, this person's gonna take over all of these things that I don't wanna do, they're gonna solve my problems, and then you can go on to build bigger things for your business. The problem is that first person rarely works out. The first person that you hire very rarely works out in the business. Very rarely. Look at companies and look at their success and look at who employee number 1, 2, 3, 8, 10 was, and see, are they still around in the company? Very rarely does it work out. Most of the time it's because you don't know what you're doing, because you don't know how to hire. And so you hire the wrong person. I'm going to give you a process that I go through that I think will really help you. You can learn from my success. We have 24 people on my team, and I want to shortcut the path for you because I think the hiring process is broken. What do most people do when they hire? Most people, they do some kind of job ad, they post it, then you do this long interview process, right? You're reading through resumes and cover letters, you bring them in for an interview, and then you get down to the one person, you end up hiring them, and what ends up happening, a lot of times that person doesn't work out, or they're just okay, but you don't want to fire them because you don't want to go through that entire painful process again to find somebody new. It's too painful, it sucks, you don't want to do it again. Here's how you flip the script. 1, when you're doing a job posting, you make it one big ugly paragraph. This is what I do. A job posting is one big ugly nasty paragraph. Why? Because I want people to be detail oriented. I want people to read the whole thing. I don't want to make it easy, because a lot of times the job's not going to be easy, right? So one big ugly paragraph. In the middle of that big ugly paragraph will be some skill testing question. It'll be something like, tell me how many subscribers I have on my YouTube channel, right? Or tell me how many followers I have on Twitter, and put it in the first line of your application. 80% of people won't do it. 80% of people who apply to a job will not answer the skill testing question. Why? Because they didn't even read the application. They didn't read it. They just saw the title. I'm looking for a video editor. I'm looking for an online marketer. I'm looking for XYZ, and they hit submit and they send it to you. Now you're going to spend time reading their cover letter, reading their resume, going through their work history, but they spent 5 seconds on you. You're going to spend 5 minutes, 10 minutes on each of them, and they spent 5 seconds on you. Times that by 100 applicants, that's a lot of wasted hours. No wonder why you don't want to go on through that process again. It sucks. 80% of people will not read the job description. You need to filter them out. 5% of people then say, great, tell me what your Twitter account is, and I'll tell you how many followers you have. Go to Twitter, type in Evan Carmichael, you can find me, right? You need to have a little bit of resourcefulness if you want to work for an entrepreneur. So already 85% of the people are eliminated. They're gone. Now I only have to read through 15% of the applications that come through. This is a lot better, right? These are the people who put in the time, who read the application, and they want to work with you. Great. Let's talk about that job posting. What's in that big ugly paragraph? So you want to lead with the values. What do you stand for? What are you all about? Even in the job title right away, I'm looking for a video marketer that believes in entrepreneurs. And then talk about what my company's all about, what my mission is, what I'm trying to accomplish. Right before getting to the job description and the roles and responsibilities, I want to lead with the mission, because somebody's going to look at that and say, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen. Amazing, don't apply. Or they'll say, I love this. Finally, I want to work extra hard to apply for that company, right? The people who are good fits for you from a values and culture point of view, they will self-select in. That's what you want. So don't just tell me in your job ad what the roles and responsibilities are. Lead with the mission. So lead with the mission, lead with the values, tell me what your company is trying to do. Then you have your skill testing question, and then you tell me what the job description is all about. Like, what am I going to be doing on a day-to-day basis? What's my role? What do you want me to do every day for you? Right? And then I'll at the end put some kind of qualitative question in as well. So the skill testing question is, how many followers do I have? The qualitative one would be, tell me about who your favorite entrepreneur is and why. And I don't really care what their answer is. Some people say Richard Branson or Elon Musk or some big name. Some people will say my dad, because he started his own little grocery store. Great. I don't really care what the answer is. I just want to see that they actually care. Because if you're working for me, I want you to actually care about entrepreneurs. That's the mission that we're on, right? Great. After that, you still get a whole bunch of people who will apply. Next, what most people do is go to a job interview. I think a job interview is a giant waste of time. I think most people hire from a job interview, and it doesn't actually test for the skills that you're trying to hire, right? So if I'm looking for a video editor, as an example, right? I'm looking for a new video editor for my channel. How well they do in a job interview doesn't map to their success as a video editor, right? Maybe they're super nervous when they're talking to people. maybe they're really shy. Maybe they can't articulate themselves via voice very well, right? And so if I'm judging their abilities based off of how they communicate face to face, that's not what I'm trying to hire for. Now, if I'm hiring a salesperson, that's a different story, right? They can sell me on themselves. They need to be good face to face. But for a video editor, it's the wrong skill set. And so I think people hire off of a job interview which tests the wrong skills. So the best thing you can do is go on a trial. So anybody who answers my job ad and will give me the skill testing question and then tell me who their favorite entrepreneur is and why, I'll then hire them on a trial. I'll give them 5 paid hours, no job interview, 5 paid hours for a job that I think will take them 2. Now, why do I do this? I'm not a micromanager. I don't want to micromanage people. It drives me nuts. I don't want to be on your shoulder and say, hey, did you get this done? Did you get that done? It's not my style. So I need people who will self-manage and people who won't milk me. So I'll pay you for up to 5 hours for a job that I think should take you 2. And here's what I'm looking for. 1, if you took the full 5 hours, either 1, you're milking me, right? You should have done it a lot faster, but you know you can get 5 hours, so you're gonna say it took you 5 hours. Amazing. That's a cheap way to test if somebody's a good fit for you or not. Or 2, they're just really slow and incompetent. Either way, you don't wanna have that person on your team. So I want the person who's gonna come in at 5. So I want the person who's going to say, hey, I know I can have 5 hours, but it's only actually gonna take me 2, so let me do it in 2. That's the person I want on my team. From there, what I'm looking for is somebody who goes above and beyond the call of duty. So somebody who doesn't just do the thing that I asked for, but injects their own style, tries to find a way to make it better. So the video editor is a great example. When I went through my video editing hiring process, I hired maybe 20 people on a trial, 15, 20 people on a trial, something like that. Paid trial up to 5 hours. Christina, who's been my editor for the past, 6 years, she came in and said, hey, Evan, here's what you asked for. I had a very clear requirements. Here's what I want you to do. Here's what you asked for, but what you did kind of sucks, and here's how I would do it. And she made something that was better, right? So she gave me what I asked for and then went above and beyond to give me something better. That's the person I want to hire, right? And that's the person I want to keep on my team. And that's why she's been with me for 6 or so years. Right? So that process is how you find great people. And in that process of actually working with them on a project, if you are working for me to be a video editor, I want to see how well you edit a video, not how well you respond to an interview question, not how well you can write a cover letter or a resume. It's testing for the wrong skills. And so that's the process. And it saves time and it brings the right people in, and then it allows you to scale and leverage your business so that you are not doing everything yourself, because you have an important mission. You're trying to help people, but you can't do everything yourself. You need to get out of that mindset. You need to stop doing everything yourself. You need to start by bringing on people, even part-time. The first person I hired was for 1 hour a day. That's it. Bring people on part-time to free up your time, get people who are better than you at that thing, free up your time to focus on the things that you have Michael Jordan level talent at, and that's how you start to scale. It may not work out the first time, it may not work out the second time. Don't quit on building a team, because everybody who's done the thing that you want to do, all of your heroes, all of your mentors, everybody you look up to, they built a team, and you need to too.
If you want to watch another top 10 rules of Evan Carmichael, check out the video next to me. Continue to believe. I will see you there.
You get motivated, you get inspired, you get pumped up, something happens in your life that then makes you want to go and drive further, harder, faster, let's go. And then you fall off the track.